So thank you so much for joining us. We'll dive straight into it. They are all extremely popular brands and their founders are sitting here. I would really request you to give a 1-minute introduction and then we'll dive right into it.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Chippy Mehta. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bombay Shirt Company. We are a 12-year-old brand, D2C brand, obviously originated from Bombay. From our name, you can make that out. We are approximately 28 stores now across India, one in New York as well. Signed up another 12 stores, so plan to be at about 40 stores by the end of the year. We primarily only sell through our own channels, so our website as well as D2C website. We've always been known to be one of the best custom-made shirt brands in India, and over time have now also developed and expanded into many other product categories in the menswear segment. So ready-made shirts, pants, chinos, denims, jackets, and bundies, and this is also what we're getting to be known for. The reason we started the company was very simple, that we just felt that in India one size doesn't really fit all. There's enough of shapes and sizes around, and I think as we've evolved over time and seen the way the customers have evolved over time, as we've been hearing about quick commerce a lot all of today, consumers are getting very demanding. They want everything a lot quicker, but they also want to have the power of choice. And I think that is where Bombay Shirt comes in, where we put that in the hands of the consumer, where the consumer gets to decide how he wants to design his shirt, whether he wants a pocket or he doesn't, what kind of a fit that he might want. So that's where we are at, and again, young brand and still growing. Thank you.
Hi, I am Harsh Somaya, co-founder of The Bear House. The Bear House is a menswear casual brand. We believe in elevated core. We are trying to dress India, or I would say we are trying to get the European sense of fashion into India. We are targeting the Monday to Friday 9 to 9 of a men's wardrobe. And if you have to look at the brand's journey, we've started as a marketplace brand, started our own D2C in 22. And now we are looking at retail as the next form of expansion. We have 2 stores live right now. We have about 7 in fit out. And our target for this year is close to opening 20 stores. So we are very aggressive in terms of expansion. And we look to see how we grow from here. Thank you.
Hi everybody, good evening. I'm Hitesh Jain, co-founder of Citrus. Citrus is a men's fashion brand born in the year 2000 and started off with supplying to MBOs in South India, and today we are available pan-India, supplying to 2,500 MBOs through a distribution channel of 22 distributors. Last year we started our D2C journey. We started our online journey last year. And 2 months, in the month of Feb, we started our 3 stores, which we opened in Orissa. In 48 hours, we opened 3 stores. And we aim to open about 20 stores before March 31st, 2026.
Fantastic. We'll start with you, Hitesh. You said Orissa you targeted first with 3 stores. So from your journey from 2020 to opening the stores in Orissa, can you tell us why Orissa, why the Northeast, and what is your next plan from that level?
Yeah, so we've been marketing in Orissa from, it's been almost 22 years. And we have a strong base there where there is consumer awareness of the brand. We thought it's a great strategical move to start region-wise. And also looking at, we are a bootstrap company, so we need to look at the commercials, profitability. It's a strategical move to go region-wise.
So most of the brands that we see launch first either in metropolitan or tier 1 cities. Yours is the first one we've seen which is not from any of these segments. So have there been challenges?
No, there are no challenges. As I told you, it's a strategical move, and you will see that Uh, in the month of June, we're opening another 3 stores, and we plan to open in one single day in Orissa. And then we go into the next state, so we'll be opening about 6 to 8 stores in the next state. So, we're going regional rather than going in the metros. We have a different plan.
Fantastic. So, Harsh will come to you. So, Mr. Bear House, or is it just the Bear House, and you are the Mr. Bear? Yeah. So, you've also had a very, a rocket-type journey. You started, and then you scaled up. So, how has your journey been through, the online first, and then coming to the stores? What has your journey been like?
So I think at Bear House, what we've tried to do, we've tried to give quality. We've tried to build trust with the brand where we've had repeats close to 65%. Now, I don't say that as normal because we've done quite a bit in terms of understanding our customers, giving them what they need. We've spoken to a lot of them and we've tried to curate a collection based on the answers we get. When we started our journey, we thought, we should not market very heavily. So we wanted to build a sustainable brand. And I think by giving good quality and having such high repeats, I was able to convince the customer in terms of what we want to achieve. The other biggest thing that I think we've done right is create that brand connect with the logo that we have, which is the bear. It connects the customer to a different level, and I think that uplifts the product in certain ways. And making sure that we make sure that the customer is happy at the end of the day by giving the best service. So when you look at our marketplace journey, we've grown sustainably with the repeats. Then we started our own D2C where we started marketing about the brand, what do we do, how are we creating the right content at the right, for the right audience. That gave us an additional push. And then obviously just featured on Shark Tank. Now our aim is to make sure that the whole of India know us and expanding to retail. So making sure that we capitalize on the fame that we have now.
Fantastic. So Chippy, we come to you. Yours has been a different kind of a journey. You've made personalization almost obsession. That's the differentiator of your brand. You started with men's and then you ventured into women's. How has the journey been and how have you been able to scale such level of personalization first through an online platform and now through a store platform?
So I'll just correct you over there, we're only men's. We did acquire actually a women's wear brand, but I think slowly realized that like most men, we don't understand women. Yeah. So we have stuck to the menswear segment. But to answer your
what happened to that women's wear?
We still own it, but it's not taken the kind of priority that we would have otherwise
I have many
given.
from there.
We are very focused on our menswear Bombay Shirt Company as the brand growing now. Answer your second question about scale. Yeah, I think that's, we were discussing this before coming on. There are very few brands that have been able to succeed in scaling a custom product, regardless of whether it's apparel or any other product. That in itself is basically actually is the catch-22, right? Is because scaling any custom product from a supply chain perspective, regardless of customer demand, is where the challenge lies. So we've been able to build our entire supply chain from scratch, not only in terms of the pure production aspects, but also the entire tech stack. So every single order, for example, that is punched anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country, gets processed real time in our backend without me or any of my team members actually signing any POs. So everything is just in time. We have certain relationships with our vendors and of course, that produce every single day. So like literally at 6 a.m. every single day, you'll have orders that go out across the world where fabrics then come in from all across the world, including our domestic vendors in India, and then are produced on real-time basis. So I think figuring that entire puzzle out is something that is very difficult, and which is why also a lot of the other legacy brands have not been able to grow and scale this kind of a complex supply chain. So I think that's where we just believed that that's where the gap was in the market. And I think if you see the way technology has reshaped all of us as consumers ourselves, right? Be it an Uber who recommends a kind of a taxi for you, or the locations for you, or be it Google Maps, or be it Swiggy, or be it Netflix, right? I think over time, what we believe at least is that there's just a plethora of menswear brands in the country, and it's getting even harder. It's getting harder every year to differentiate yourself from your guy next door. And we definitely did not want to get into the price game. We didn't believe in that. So for us, we felt that the long-term journey is that, kind of put the power in the hands of the consumer. And if we are able to actually service that, which so far, touch wood, we have, I think that allows us to build a good, profitable business and scale it over time.
Lovely. And it's also a luxury to wear a custom-made shirt or a pant for yourself, right? With
it's pretty crazy, but we have thousands of SKUs at any given point, because again, like a simple white fabric, even though we have 20 white fabrics, but a simple white fabric can be worn in hundreds of ways, depending on the kind of collar you choose, the stiffness of the collar, whether you choose a pocket or not, whether you have a half sleeve or full sleeve, whether you want a round bottom or a straight bottom. Like in the South, we see a lot of men like wearing straight bottom, side slit, half sleeve shirts. When in the North, you see men wanting to wear, the round bottom shirts. So, to basically manage the inventory in all these thousands of SKUs is impossible. And which is, where we believe that, again, doing it custom made, putting it in the hands of the consumer, for them to then decide is that, hey, listen, whether I wanted half sleeve or full sleeve. And I think I think at that last level of touch is to allow a customer to put their own, monogram their initials on a shirt. It just makes it personalized. It makes it, to your point that you were saying about connecting with the consumer, right? We actually don't have a solid logo. Something we missed out, I think, over the years for various reasons. But I think for us, it's like whenever I'm sitting on a plane ride, even including today morning, person next to me was wearing a classic office shirt. I had no idea whether it was ours or not. And then I saw MP or MV or something written on his scuff. And I said, hey, nice shirt. Where's that from? It's a nice monogram. And he's like, Bombay Shirt Company. So I was like, okay, it's almost like made me realize that's the logo, right? Because not many other brands can do that and do that at scale.
Basically, you made the details the god and scaled, right? Yeah. So we'll come to you and tell us, since we are talking a lot about tech and how every fashion brand is using, especially the D2C fashion brands are using tech a lot. And with masstige brands going all over India, like New Me's and Urbanic. And we were having a discussion early in the morning. So tell us, how are you using tech to scale your brand? Are you using it at all, or is it still humanized, or have the data scientists taken over?
No, of course we are using tech, like when I talk about my stores that we started. So we're using simple Power BI tools, but we're using two phenomenal reports, which are rapid replenishment report and inter-store transfer, because all three stores are in Orissa and in a vicinity of 100 kilometers. So we are able to transfer the fast-selling products from one store to the other store. So that we're able to do. We're able to replenish products very soon. We're looking at, because we don't have enough data, because the stores are pretty new, so we cannot have AI coming in as of now. So it's all through data that's selling, and according to that we are using it. Coming to the online, honestly speaking, we are not yet there in terms of using data too much.
Right. So we'll come to you, Harsh. Tell us which model is best for you, the D2C versus marketplace. This debate has been going on for a while now, especially for the digital first brands. So how has your experience been?
So I'll tell you one thing, that any brand has to create its own journey. Now for us, D2C was not a natural move in. It was more about marketplace. Because I have run a factory for 6 years, and coming from a factory, I understood that, for me, I want to get my product out as much possible and as easy as possible. I never cared about the data as much like how the newer D2C brands would. So for me, I look at EBITDA because when you are running on a marketplace, you don't have that extra or a very high marketing cost. If you're doing good, your product is good, you are discovered well, you definitely will sell well. So for me, marketplace has always been the first go-to sales channel, because for me now I have optimized my commissions, I have optimized the way I work. In fact, my entire DNA is for our marketplace operations, where we know that we are going to receive an X percentage of returns. You bake in that cost. You make sure that your warehouse is operating in terms of your SLAs and your TAT. And everything is in sync with how we should operate a marketplace. But when we launched our own D2C, we realized the goodness that comes from that. Because when you start branding, you do a lot of brand work, you need somewhere your customers need to go to. So rather than pushing them to marketplace, you need your own D2C. So now I feel that D2C is also a very important tool where, you as he was mentioning about customizations, personal connect, personal touch, connecting with your customers, which I spoke about, can only be enabled if you have your own D2C and your own retail. But as a business point of view and as a profitable standpoint, I feel marketplace is a good ecosystem if you know how to operate in that. A lot of brands come in, they feel that marketplace is absolute nonsense because you have so much of returns, you have so much of headache. But you need to make sure that you work around it to be profitable.
Fantastic. So, Chippy, we come to you. He talked about the loyalty factor of the consumer, whether it is a D2C or a marketplace or even a storefront. So, for a brand like yours, where everything is personalized, of course, you have your set of consumer. But what are your marketing channels? How are you reaching out to more and more? How do you do that with this personalization angle?
So, I think like most brands, it would be across multiple platforms. The first and foremost, I think the most important thing to us is word of mouth marketing. Because unless your own repeat rate, as Harsh mentioned, is not high enough, where you don't have a loyal customer who is actually your promoter, right? So NPS scores for us are very, very important. Making sure that every customer is satisfied. Because ultimately, if somebody's going to come and ask him, saying, "Hey, listen, nice T-shirt, a nice shirt. Where did you get it from?" That's your word of mouth marketing. That's what matters to us the most. Having said that, obviously you need to scale. You need to scale fast. There's always pressure of whether it's your own EBITDA or investors. Some form of marketing, branding, performance marketing, etc. These are all channels that one has to go through. So whether it's influencer marketing, which is what we use sometimes, part of it is just again our own social media platforms. A lot of it is performance marketing that every single D2C brand is obviously spending some amount of money on these days. We have a marketing team, in-house marketing team that's monitoring that on a day-to-day basis. But I think if you don't work through every single platform in today's day and age, the competitive brands all over, it's going to be a hard one. So it has to be all across.
Lovely. So I have one single question for all of you. That is, we'll start with you. What are the challenges that you feel today that fashion in this segment has become? Because there is plethora of brands, plus there is an unorganized market altogether. So what are the challenges that you feel that can hamper today's brand success? And this is for all of you.
See, for me, as you know, I'm a predominantly offline brand who's come online now. It's just been a year. So, changing the language of the brand, because I do agree that a brand ethos, but, you need to evolve. But that evolvement, trying new categories and getting stuck with the inventory when you try new categories, so that can be really challenging. So, over the time, we've experienced that, we're seeing what categories sell better, making small capsule collections, and then replenishing them. That's the only way. But major challenge is to, from offline to online. That's a massive shift for us.
Fantastic. And what about brand collaborations? Are you collaborating with anyone, a celeb or an influencer or even a cross-channel collaboration?
No, nothing as of now.
So capsules are based on trends?
Trends.
Trends.
Yes.
And trends are tech-based?
Tech, exposure, travel.
Right.
Yeah.
Harsh, what about your take?
See, I feel there are a lot of challenges running an apparel brand. It's not easy. A lot of new players come in. I see a lot of brands coming, but they don't survive. I think cost is the biggest challenge in today's day and age. You see your labor cost increasing, you see your minimum wages increasing. You need to evolve, as he rightly mentioned, that you need to make sure that you have something in your kitty that even he mentioned about being different from everyone else. I think today the biggest challenge apart from cost is inventory management. Any apparel brand who cannot maintain their inventory well, their cash flow becomes negative and they don't survive. Apart from that, I think brand love and brand visibility. As I mentioned, that there are a lot of brands around, you need to stand out. How you stand out, what kind of story you speak, what kind of marketing you do, speaks a lot about the brand. And obviously, I would say another challenge is maintaining the same quality. Today at a scale you are able to give a quality, tomorrow at a bigger scale you should maintain the same quality. If you are able to do that, you will be sustainable. But the day you your quality goes down, people understand what you are and they stop buying, and then with heavy inventory it becomes a big challenge.
Fantastic. Chippy, your take?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Hitesh and Harsh have said. It's very similar thought in terms of, ultimately your product has to speak for itself. You need to have a good amount of distribution and marketing to help and aid that, product. And then it'll ultimately boil down to your EBITDA, right? Where if you're a profitable brand, it allows you to keep growing at a certain pace. You all mentioned collaborations. We have some fun collaborations that we keep, kind of dabbling with, whether it's with designers in the apparel space. We had one with a very famous designer called Arjun Khanna. He's out of Bombay, but he's famous amongst the, the wedding brigade. We've had collaborations with wallpaper design companies, with furniture companies. We've got some interesting collaborations now going on with some sports personalities. So we keep working around collaborations, but collaborations again is something that it just adds to the connect with the consumer, right? So whether it's a brand ambassador, whether it's just a short-term collaboration, it allows the consumer to constantly connect with you beyond, over and above and beyond your product. Which I think in this competitive space, if you don't keep standing out and if you don't keep kind of letting the consumer know that, hey, listen, you're not just there and available and you have a great product, but you're speaking to them in some way that resonates with them. I think without that it becomes very difficult. So constantly upping your marketing game and your visibility game is very critical.
Fantastic. I'll open the floor for question for 5 minutes. And anybody have any question? No, I think nobody has questions about fashion and apparel. Oh, you have this one. There are 2 questions.
Hi. Hi, I have a question for Chippy. You said that while you're customizing your product, and you're scaling it, it's a process that you said essentially, of course, is word of mouth, which you believe is the foundation. But having said that, I think when you're trying to scale something that's... Should I let go of the mic? Okay. When you're trying to scale something which involves customization, and when you're talking about dealing with social media and various online platforms, I think the existing challenge doubles up? Because for someone versus who's not customizing a product, it's a cut, copy, paste that's going out, correct? In a scenario where you have to customize, you cannot cut, copy, paste. There is another branch or vertical that's added in the process, which comes with its own time frame and everything. And so I think that's a big challenge coming from a creative background, that every time I'm trying to scale up, and when I'm customized, it's one of them that gets affected. And you do fall down and then you pick yourself up, unless it's the same style that you're okay, fine, repeating.
No, you're absolutely right. And we have actually fallen down many times. That's the reason why I don't have much hair on my head. But no, having said that, I think, again, I mean, where there is challenge, there's opportunity. Right? So I think if you are able to work around those challenges, and solve for those challenges where nobody else actually is able to, it allows you to stand out in a space that is already fairly cluttered, right? And is only getting more and more competitive for that matter. So I don't know if that was your question in terms of whether, does it add an extra vertical and a kind of a problem set? Yes, it absolutely does. We have a very, very, strong, like, let's say, focus on supply chain, where maybe some other brands don't need to do that. But I think, as what Harsh was saying, is that if you're an inventory, led brand, and 25-30% of our business also does come in with some amount of inventory now. But so we understand that, side of the fence as well. But we do know that when you are in the inventory model, where supply chain is not as critical, because it's, as you said, cut, copy, paste and stuff, there your inventory, your holding costs, your working capital, your sale throughs all become very critical. And if you falter over there, and as I think all of us who have been in the space long enough know that many brands falter, right, with inventory, with the season changing, and then not being able to sell that at full price or, whatever discounted price. Like, therein also lies the challenge. So I think we've been able to, scale up from an angle where we've always, from a DNA perspective, from a culture perspective, from a business model perspective, always worked around a just-in-time model and a very, very nimble and, kind of a complex supply chain. So even though, yes, it is a challenge, we constantly see it as an opportunity, because nobody else is able to do it, and we are, right? So, but yes, there are challenges. You're absolutely right. And it's something that you have to keep overcoming, and especially as you keep scaling, the challenges get even harder.
Thank you so much. I think we should end the thing before everyone else. Oh, there's one more. Okay.
So by chance I happen to work with a few apparel brands. So one insight that I would like to know from you is, when you are having a new collection, how do you go about it? Like, for example, how do you experiment through ads or whatever your choices are, and ramp up from there? And how much of it is important to get bestsellers out of your new launch? So if you can share some insights.
So whenever we launch any new collection, it's obviously on a data research or on insights that we get. We do not go all out. Every time when we launch a capsule of about 200 or 300 pieces. We put it out in the market. We test the response. We see the rate of sale per day. We understand whether, so we have an algo created in-house where we understand whether this can be a top seller, this can be a mid seller, or this is something that we cannot proceed with. So wherever it falls, our replenishment order goes out immediately post, I would say, a 15-day and a 30-day record date. And based on that, we repeat the quantity. So let's say if it's a mid seller, we'll repeat about 600 pieces more. Or if it's a high seller, we'll target 1,000 piece. Once that comes in, then the normal calculation, we have another algo which tells us that, we should sell about 40% of the inventory within the first 30 days. If that is, then it's a bestseller for us. So that's how we predict and analyze our inventory so that we don't over budget, we don't over, stock ourselves. And the biggest thing that I would like to say is don't love your inventory. I mean, if there is something that is not selling, get done with it as quick as possible, because that becomes your poison. Anytime, every time, something or the other will not work for you. If you keep holding it, you're dead.
Thank you so much.